Now part C, question number 2 and question number 3 are related to direct and indirect speech. So before starting the direct and indirect speech, we need to know that how to change the direct into an indirect and indirect into a direct speech. So let us see what are some of the methods that you should remember. Here we go. We have direct speech and indirect speech. First of all, direct speech. What is a direct speech? It is the actual message of the speaker. Speaker का जो actual message है, उसने जो direct message दिया है, वो direct speech में आता है. Indirect speech is the reported message by someone else. Indirect speech जो है वो वही message अगर कोई और हमें बता रहा हो तो वो indirect speech कहलाती है. ठीक है? Direct speech is always written in inverted commas, while indirect speech is never enclosed in inverted commas. Indirect speech, direct speech में हम लोग inverted commas use करते हैं. Indirect speech में हम inverted commas नहीं use करते. Instead, we use that. Let's see the first example. We have, she said to me, I am fine. We will use comma before quotation marks or before inverted commas. She said to me, comma, I am fine. Let's see how I have changed this example into an indirect speech. She said to me that she was fine. I have changed the present tense into a past tense and I have changed the inverted commas and used that. So this is how you're going to change direct speech into an indirect speech. Let's move forward towards our question number 1 now. Alright, question number 2. Change the following into indirect speech using asked. Remember that we are going to change the direct speeches into indirect speech. And we will remove the inverted commas, we will change the present tense into a past tense, and we will use that, okay? Or we can also use if. Let's see number 1. Are you going to school today? My mother asked. Let's see how to change this into indirect speech. My mother asked me if I was going to the school today. My mother, she asked me if I was going to the school today. Where are your books? She said. She asked me where my books were. Have you had your breakfast? She continued. She asked me if I had, you can say, or if I had eaten my breakfast. Have you tidied your room? She asked. She asked me if I had tidied my room. Now we are on question number 3, which is change the following into indirect speech. Don't forget the inverted commas. Now what we will do, we have some of the indirect speeches, and now we will change them into direct speech, and we will use inverted commas. Don't forget to use the inverted commas. Number 1 is, she asked me where I was going. Where are you going? She asked me. She asked me if I was going to the market. Are you going to the market? She asked me. I told her I was not. No, I am not, I replied. So no, I am not is written in an inverted commas, then we have a comma after that, and then I replied, full stop. Then she asked me if I was going to the park. Then she asked, comma, are you going to the park? In an inverted commas and then question mark. Alright. Now moving forward towards our question number 4 now, which is make a list of transitive verbs in the following paragraph. We have some of the verbs that are underlined in the given passage. We have to identify that which are transitive verbs and which are intransitive verbs. But before taking the entire passage, we should know the information that is given on the top. So let's start from the first information which is related to transitive verbs. Transitive verbs have an object. So remember that if there is an object within a sentence, then that means that the verb is a transitive verb. For example, the boys played football. What did the boy play? They play with a football. So football is an object, or the girl painted a picture. Picture is an object. So that's why the verb played and painted both are transitive verbs. And then we have intransitive verbs. They do not have an object. If there is no subject in the sentence, then this verb is known as intransitive verb. For example, the boy fell over. I know the boy fell over, but I don't know where did he fall over. So that's why there is no subject in the within the sentence. That's why it is called intransitive verb. The verb fell is a intransitive verb. The girl cried. Where did she cry? They did not mention. There is no object. So that's why the cried is an intransitive verb. In a very rare cases, not mostly, rarely, many verbs can be both transitive and intransitive. Very rarely, there are some verbs which can be used as transitive and intransitive both. For example, the girl played cards. The girl played. So in both of the cases, you can say that the object is given over here. So this is transitive and there is no object, so this is intransitive, okay? So there are some verbs that can be both transitive and intransitive, okay? Now let's move forward towards our question number 4 now. Alright, let's start reading the passage and focus on the underlined verbs. Once there was a boy is an object, so that's why was is a transitive verb. Remember, VT stands for transitive verb and VI stands for intransitive verb. He lived in a huge forest. Huge forest is not considered as an object here, so lived is an intransitive verb. His house was very small. There is no object here, so again was is intransitive. And his mother and father lived there too. No object again, so lived is again intransitive. One day he walked down the path. Again, there is no object. Down the path is not an object, so walked is again intransitive. Suddenly, he saw a tiny snail. So now, what did he see? He saw a tiny snail. So a tiny snail is an object. So saw is a transitive verb. He picked up the snail. What did he pick up? The snail. So the snail is an object. So picked up is a transitive verb. And took it home. What did he take? He took the snail. So it is an object here. So took is again the transitive verb. When he reached home, where did he reach? Home. So home is an object. So it means reached is a transitive verb. He showed the snail to his mother. What did he show? He showed the snail. So object is given in the last sentence. Showed is a transitive verb. So alright. So thank you so much for listening and take care.